What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs? You are listening to another episode of Wrestling Geeks, brought to you by all of us immature people on the staff here. Right now, it is just myself. It is Ryan, a.k.a. Mr. Showtime, your host. I'm driving to work now, and I wanted to touch on some breaking news from last night. And I got this news kind of late. And full disclosure, I was super sick. I'm still kind of sick, but hey, you got to go to work, got to pay the bills, right? Last night, we got the first set of the new Impact Wrestling tapings. Now, we don't talk too much about Impact Wrestling on the show, although I am a big fan. The problem is I don't get Pop TV, okay? The only way I would get Pop TV is if I either subscribe to a cable service, which I kind of don't. I just have a streaming service through my cable company, if that even makes sense. So I get like a good amount of channels for like $20 a month, and you know, one of those channels is USA, so I get to watch my Raw and SmackDown. I get to catch Lucha Underground, pretty much on YouTube whenever it's on. And then, but Impact, it's kind of hard to kind of see up to date. I know you can usually find the updates and the recaps and the whole show basically on YouTube, but I'm a guy who kind of likes to watch everything live if I can, you know. Like for example, unfortunately I couldn't watch NXT live last night, but you know, that's something that I'll get to. But mostly 9 times out of 10 I really like to watch everything live, so I've been a little bit disconnected from Impact Wrestling. Now, I'm a huge Impact Wrestling TNA fan. I've been a fan since their inception back in 2002. I remember reading about them in the PWI magazine, ordering the weekly pay-per-views, and of course, you know, watching the shows on Spike, and then eventually Destination America, and then Pop TV, which I don't get. So, it is what it is. Anyways, last night, 2 big things happened. I want to say maybe like 1.5 big things happened. First of all, we put the picture on our Twitter account, is that Impact Wrestling has gone from the 6-sided ring to the traditional 4-sided ring. Now, I remember they did this back in 2010. It lasted all the way till about, I believe, 2014, 2015 maybe. And I get it. I think it was 2015, actually. There's a lot of people that are upset about this. And I get it. You know, it's, if you are an Impact Wrestling, like a traditionalist, or if you're like a diehard Impact Wrestling fan, or you know, when you're GFW and all this stuff, but I get it. You know, because people are saying that's the one thing that set them apart from the WWE and pretty much every other professional wrestling company. But here's the thing. Is you've heard it from countless wrestlers. I think AJ Styles said it, Chris Sabin has said it. I think even Alex Shelley has said it, Chris Daniels. That 6-sided ring, even though it's kind of cool, like there's pros and cons to it. Okay, with the shorter ropes, it's really good for the smaller wrestlers. It gives them a little bit more spring. Kind of helps them with, you know, more high risk maneuvers, right? The way that the mat itself is set up, it's a lot harder on their backs and their bodies when they bump on there. And there's been countless interviews where the wrestlers have said that they prefer the traditional ring. So I gotta give Impact Wrestling a thumbs up with, you know, going back to the traditional ring. I was never 100% a fan of the 6-sided ring. I don't know why. It always just seemed kind of odd. Like, I did like the 6 sides of steel. I thought that was really cool when they did the lockdown events, but I don't know. I was really a fan of just like the regular 4-sided ring. Maybe just because I'm an old guy. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I liked how they had like the entrance ramp, like the old school WCW entrance ramp, where it basically went right up to the edge of the ring, which was kind of cool. It did make weird for some spots. I mean, actually, it was actually cool for some spots, but like I remember I went to an Impact taping, and there was a battle royal, and I'll never forget it. It was like Bobby Roode was like eliminated from the battle royal, and he just went over the ropes onto the onto the apron, which was basically the entrance ramp. So it was out of the ring, and his face was like, really? He's like, I'm eliminated? Like, it was kind of a weird thing, but that aside, I do like that version of the set. I hope they bring that back. I haven't seen many pictures from the tapings, but I gotta give him a thumbs up, okay, on the 4-sided ring. Another thing is, if you look at the picture on our Twitter account, again, that's One Wrestling Geek, you will see that on the right-hand side, depending on where you're looking, but in a picture we have on there, on the right-hand side, you'll see the ring apron, and there is a giant Twitch logo. And that is kind of interesting. So they haven't announced anything yet about a partnership with Twitch, to my knowledge, but that would be awesome. And if I can just watch Impact Wrestling on Twitch, I will be so excited. I will, even if it's like $2 or $3 to subscribe, so I could at least watch Impact Wrestling live. That's awesome, because then I can just watch that right on my smart TV, or I watch it on my phone, or watch it on my tablet or my computer. It would make it so much easier. That's the reason why I didn't subscribe to the GWN, the Global Wrestling Network, just because there's not an app for a smart TV or a streaming device or anything like that. They say it's coming out. But also, there's no way to watch live anything. It's just archived video. And for anybody who is not aware of this, if you have for example, if you have a Roku and you download the Fight Network app, it has every single Impact Wrestling pay-per-view on there. And it has basically every single Impact on there. They're pretty much up to date with the Impact Wrestling, the current Impact Wrestling episodes. So it's just kind of weird why you would pay. And I do this without paying. If you want to pay, it's $2 or $3. You get the live TV version. And if you're into that, that's great. They show a lot of reruns. There's a lot of different mixed martial arts companies on there. Of course, they have the Pluto TV app as well, which is very nice. Or the Pluto TV channel on Pluto TV, which I absolutely love Pluto TV. But I'm getting off subject. If Impact Wrestling does have a partnership with Twitch, I will be super excited about that. And I hope to have some more news about that coming out. So, a couple pieces of news. 4-sided ring, okay? Possible partnership with Twitch TV. They no longer have the hexagon behind the Impact logo. They completely got rid of that. So they're really trying to distance themselves from their past, as much as they can. You don't want to completely go cold turkey and change it up. Another thing too, I forgot to mention, is they got rid of the green ropes. So there's no signs or no remnants of GFW. The only thing I wish they changed those damn title belts. I hate the fact that they took the GFW title belts and just slapped Impact logos on there. It's for example, on the world title, on the side plate, it still says GFW. And it's come on, man, can't you you could have at least got the old Impact, or the old TNA belt and put an Impact logo on it. At least it doesn't say GFW. I don't know. That's just me. I can't stand the GFW belts. I think I like them for a minute. The only one I do like is the X Division belt. I think the X Division belt is pretty awesome looking. But as far as anything else, I cannot stand those belts. They got to get rid of them. Speaking of belts, probably the biggest news from last night, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to know what happens, you can stop the podcast now. Never want to encourage you to not listen to the podcast, but if you don't want to be spoiled, you don't want to listen to what I'm about to say. So I've given you fair warning. I'm going to go through with my news in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last night at the Impact tapings, there was a segment with Eli Drake, the current Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. I believe it was his State of the Union address, and he was just coming out and gloating, and, what a heel champion does. And I love Eli Drake. I think he's probably one of the best talkers in the business. In ring, I think he's good. He doesn't do anything really flashy, which is, in the long run, kind of smart. But it doesn't really, it doesn't wow me like an AJ Styles or a Will Ospreay or or like Kenny Omega or anything like that. But he's very entertaining, okay? So he comes out, cuts an excellent promo, to my knowledge. And all of a sudden we get the return of the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. He comes out, and there's an impromptu challenge, like they're just in their street clothes. Aries challenges Eli Drake for the championship, and he defeats him. So your new Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion in his return bout, in his street clothes, is Austin Aries. So pretty cool news, because Austin Aries, you guys do know, he did get released from the WWE. From the interview he had on Jericho's podcast, it was all like, there's no bad blood or anything like that. There just wasn't really anything for him. I get that. Those WWE rosters, they are so stacked. There's so many people. And for them, to just, they can't make everybody the top guy. I totally get it. And he understands that too. So Austin Aries, he did some work on the indies, did some House of Hardcores, did some House of Glories. I believe he did some, I can't remember, IWC. I can't remember everywhere that I think it's AEW. I can't remember everywhere he went. I'm probably getting him mixed up when Jimmy Jacobs left, as far as the promotions that he toured, because they kind of left fairly maybe around somewhat the same time. I could be wrong with that. But anyways, Austin Aries, I was actually hoping he would come back to either TNA or Impact Wrestling, or Ring of Honor. And I think there was some kind of bad blood with him in Ring of Honor. I'm not 100% sure. I think that Ring of Honor would have suited him very well, and kind of maybe putting him as a babyface, putting him against the Bullet Club and the Elite. I think that would be great, honestly. But now you got the whole storyline with the Elite and the Bullet Club kind of deteriorating, apparently, which, that's a storyline all in itself. So I guess in hindsight, it really wouldn't have worked with Austin Aries right now in Ring of Honor. But I'm pretty pumped that he's back in Impact Wrestling, and I really enjoyed his run when he was World Heavyweight. I enjoyed his whole run when he came back as Austin Aries. When he was there as Austin Starr, I thought that was kind of lame, honestly. And I think he even came out and said that he didn't like that character. But, when he came back and he was dominating the X Division, came up with the option C, where you can kind of cash in or trade in the X Division Championship at the Destination X pay-per-view for a shot at the World Heavyweight title. That was kind of a cool concept at the time. It's kind of like a different version of the Money in the Bank, but, yes and no, I guess. But I really enjoyed him, and I'm really happy that he's back. I'm happy that they put the title on him. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Scott D'Amore and Don Callis are pretty much running things right now in Impact Wrestling. And I think that these are some very notable changes that they're making with these new tapings. They're first of all going to the traditional ring. I've even heard Don Callis on Jericho's podcast say that he thinks that they need to get rid of the Grand Championship. I totally agree. I think if you have three titles, three men's titles, one women's title, maybe even bring back the Knockouts tag team titles if you can get a few more Knockouts signed, or even have a working relationship with some independents, so you can have those belts kind of tour around. And I know that's something that Don Callis has talked about for the future of Impact Wrestling, so that's, fingers crossed there. But I really enjoy the fact that, yes, we got some changes with the ring, possible partnership with Twitch TV, and, of course, Austin Aries is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I didn't read anything else. I did read that Brian Cage from Lucha Underground, you guys are not aware of this guy is a machine, man. I think that's what they call him. Brian Cage. He was backstage at Impact, so I don't know if they're going to be using him or if he was just visiting or what, but he would be awesome to be on the roster. The guy is amazing in the ring. He is jacked to the gills, and they can definitely use some fresh faces there, especially with them losing some talent, and of course the rumors of them losing some more top stars. So, fingers crossed for Impact Wrestling. I wish them nothing but the best. I hope we get some more news and some more information about these tapings coming up soon. If anything crazy happens, I'll come on here with another, quote-unquote breaking news podcast and breaking news edition. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for listening to this quick mobile edition. And quick programming note. I know I've been kind of on and off with with my recording schedule, and that's just because I had some health issues and we had some family issues too, but things seem to be under control. In fact, we have a new partnership with Anchor.fm, and we are doing like little mini podcasts on there as well, so that's actually up on iTunes now. You can just find them under Wrestling Geeks, and then you'll see the Anchor logo in the bottom right hand corner, so you'll know that that's us. And then so if you want to think about that, think about it as like audio Twitter, okay? I love the app. It's great, and there's a lot of great content on there. And, of course, we're going to be working on a partnership with Spotify, and we're also looking to get back on iHeartRadio. So these things are going to be coming up very soon. Of course, you can find us always right here on Spreaker.com. You can find us on iTunes. Pretty much anywhere else you can find your favorite pro wrestling podcast. Just type in the words Wrestling Geeks. We'll be right there. And then I am going to be doing on our YouTube channel, which is Wrestling Gamer Geek, we're going to be doing some playthroughs of some past WWE games, some reviews. We're going to be starting with the PlayStation 3 series, moving into the PlayStation 4, and then eventually we're going to be going backwards again to the PlayStation 1 and 2, and then the NES as well. So have a lot of cool stuff there. If you have a request of any kind of topic you want us to talk about, be sure to hit us up on Twitter. Again, that's One Wrestling Geek. And I hope to see you guys and hear from you guys soon. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Later.